So in this video, I'll show you how to create a website with Nuxt 3 and Tailwind Element. Let's get started. So I'll create a new Nuxt 3 project with npx. So I'm getting my terminal and I'll say npx Nuxt I init Tailwind Elements demo. Okay, so this will generate a new Nuxt 3 project for me. Then I'll cd into that directory. Okay, I can see what's generated. So now I'll install the dependencies with yarn or yarn install, and if you're using npm, then you can just go on with npm install. Okay, and this will just take a while. Okay, uh, to use Tailwind Elements, you have to install Tailwind CSS in your project, because Tailwind Elements is a Tailwind CSS plugin. So Tailwind CSS is a prerequisite for Tailwind Elements in your project. So okay, this is done, and now let's install Tailwind CSS in our project. So I'll just copy all of these dependencies. That's Tailwind CSS to auto prefixer, and I'll copy this and yarn add D for development, then import this in our project. And okay, I think this is getting installed. Okay, that's installed. So next we have to generate a tailwind.config.js file. Then we'll copy this and paste here. Okay, now we have a tailwind.config.js file. Next we have to edit our nuxt.config.js file or .ts file, and add the post CSS configuration. So I'll go to WebStorm, just open a new project, and workspace, Nuxt, Tailwind Elements demo, open up. So here we have our Scaffold project. You can see Nuxt 3 minimal starter. Then we close the readme file. So we have to go to our nuxt.config.js file and add this post CSS configuration. So I'll copy this to nuxt.config.ts in our case. So Command V and back to Tailwind CSS website. Uh, we have to edit the tailwind.config.js file and add this to the tailwind.config.js file. So I'll just copy all of this to tailwind.config.js under content, and I'll paste this and save that. Next, we have to create a main CSS file style sheet in assets slash CSS. So I'll just copy all of this code with this, and I'll show you a shortcut to creating file in most of JetBrains application. So instead of creating normally, you just come to creating a file or a style sheet. You can select a style sheet directly. So create it under assets slash CSS slash assets slash CSS slash main dot CSS, exactly how it was instructed in the Tailwind website. So just click enter. I can see instead of creating a subdirectory and then creating the file, that's the shortcut. So save it for another day. So now I'll paste all of this code that I got from here. Okay, that's pasted. Then we have to add the CSS file. So we have to tell Nuxt 3 where our main style sheet file is. So for every other style sheet file, you can just import into main.css, or yeah, take the time to import everything in nuxt.config.ts. But for this, we need to introduce Nuxt to our CSS file. So copy this and go into our nuxt.config.ts in my case. then paste this right here and save that. Then we go down. So now we have to run our application with npm run dev or yarn dev, depending on what you're using. But before that, let's install Tailwind Elements. So installing Tailwind Elements is pretty trivial. If you're using npm, you can just run npm install Tailwind Elements. But in my case, I'm using yarn, so I'll just run yarn add tw elements, and that should add Tailwind Elements to our project. Okay, linking dependencies and done. Okay, so next up, like I said before, Tailwind Elements is a plugin of Tailwind CSS to make it more like Bootstrap. It comes from MDB and it's basically, we have pre-made components. So as a plugin of Tailwind CSS, yeah, we have to require the plugin and import into Tailwind CSS configuration. So I'll just copy this and okay, to our tailwind.config.js and paste this right here. Then back here I'll require the plugin. Okay, under plugins I'll just paste this right here and save that. So now for the technical part, there are two options of importing to use the drop downs and the carousels in your project. So either you import with the CDN link or you import as a JS bundles in your Nuxt application. So yeah, for those that have used Nuxt 3 in like before now, since the beta version, you notice there's no main.js file, index.js file, or app.js file in Nuxt 3, unlike Nuxt 2 and most other JavaScript frameworks. So yeah, you can install a Vue plugin. If it's a typical Vue plugin, you can install it in Nuxt 3 using the plugins directory and setting it to either server, client, and all that. It's just long story. Okay, but it's importing JS bundles, probably like importing anime.css, importing just general JS bundles or modules in Nuxt 3 application is so not officially documented. I haven't seen anyone. So if you see, just let me know in the comments below. So for now, to make this tutorial as simple as possible and beginner friendly, I'll use the CDN link for the scripts, for the script tag only. Right now, Tailwind Elements is working in an Nuxt 3 application, but to import the script tag, and why should you import the script tag? You need the script tag because that's where the JS files that make the carousels and the drop downs and all of that to work perfectly. So instead of using the bundler version of import Tailwind Elements, so if you're using Nuxt 2, you can just go with this, or check out my previous video on setting up Tailwind Elements with Nuxt. Then okay, in this case I'll just use the CDN link. So you can just go down to the CDN from here. Then yeah, we have it here. So definitely we also don't have an index.html or main.html file in Nuxt 3 where you can import this. So instead I'll just copy the src link. Okay, and copy this. So just copy the src link to the CDN, that is the index.main.js file. Okay, then come down to the nuxt.config.ts, then under the app configuration, then we have this add configuration. So add, with add you can add any regular HTML tags to your to the automatically generated index.html file by Nuxt. So Nuxt automatically generates an index.html file for you. So whatever you add in this add tag will be added to the add tag in that index.html file that Nuxt generates. So here I'll just add scripts, then it's an array, and create an object here, and I'll have the src property. I'm sorry, this should be script, not scripts. Okay, so here the SRC will be this. Okay, just paste in what you get from here. So it's more like we're creating this script tag, but this SRC attribute is a JS property. Yeah, so this is done, and now Tailwind Elements should work in our project. So let's test that by with a carousel. So this and a carousel from Tailwind Elements. You can see how it works here. So let's copy this and go to app.view, clear the Nuxt welcome, and paste this. Save the file, and let's go back to our terminal and run yarn dev to start up our Nuxt server. So this uses Vite.js and Nitro and all that long explanation. So in a different video, our application is running on localhost 300. Yeah, in a separate video, I will show you how to import JS bundles in your Nuxt 3 application. So yeah, we have our carousel here, and it's working perfectly. So what happens if I don't install import this JS file? So if I comment this out and I save that, you can see it's restarting Nuxt. Okay, I'll just let the server restart. Okay, warmed up, restarting. Just take a minute. Okay, you can see we have this back, and yeah, our CSS still works perfectly, but you can see the button is no longer working. So yeah, you really need to import this, and I'll show you how to import it the bundler version way in a separate video. So yeah, that's all for this video. Please remember to like this video if you find it helpful, share with your friends, and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we release amazing videos like this. Yeah, till next time, thank you.